Hi, right, thanks for tuning in to this video. So what we're going to do in this one is sort of look at a little bit of sound design. One of my favourite bands is Moderat. If you don't know them, they are from Berlin, I believe. It's kind of like a mixture of two different bands. So you got Mode Selector and Apparat, and they do stuff together as Moderat. And if you don't know them and you're into electronic music, then you should check them out because they are awesome. So what I thought I'd do is just like as a little sound design thing. I was sort of been trying to recreate the bass line from their track Bad Kingdom. I'm going to play you a little bit of the first bit of the track first, so you can kind of get an idea of what we're trying to create, and then I'll show you how I've done it. So this is the just the original version I'm just going to play, and this is the instrumental version, so there's no singing in this. So if you just have a listen to the first bit. Okay, so that's the bass line I'm going to try and recreate, which I've done here. So this is all from the Deluge, so it's all the internal sounds of the Deluge. Okay, so how have I done that? I've kind of got most of the song. This is something I might do as a cover, actually, as a live kind of little thing. So that's the first bit. You've got this next bit of the track. And then we go into the chorus. There we go. No, that's not the chorus. That's the second bit of the verse. There's the chorus, I think. There we go. Okay, so I'm trying to kind of recreate the whole track just using the sounds of the Deluge, and it's sounding pretty close. It's not identical, but it's pretty close. But the point behind this one is how we're going to recreate this, the bass line, which basically goes like this. But the LFO kind of changes. That's what's doing the wobble, and that changes as we go around. If you want to know what the notes are, the bass line is A, E, D, F, C. So you got A going up to E, D, up to F, and down to C. And we're in the key of A minor for this one. So what I'll do is I'll start a brand new track. That's the easiest way, I think, to start it off, and then I'll do it all from scratch, and hopefully it'll sound something like that if I can remember how I did it. Right, so let's go. Let's just load in a new track. Oh, hang on, let me just check I've saved that before I do it. Overwrite that, cool. Right, so we'll go with a basic, in fact we'll start with an initialized synth. We'll go with a new synth. So we're going to use two oscillators, with both oscillators, so they're both going to be on the no, they're not saw. We're going to go analog saw just because it says analog and I like analog stuff. And what we're going to do with oscillator 1 is we're going to pitch that down an octave. And we need to bring its volume up. I'm not going to go all the way up with that one. I'm going to bring it, let's just go down the to there. So it's around about sort of halfway volume. We'll probably mess about with that a little bit as we get into the sound a little bit more. So that's our basic sound. We're going to go over to the unison setting, which is here, and we're going to have that on 2 voices. 2 or 3 kind of works quite nicely. I'm going to leave it on 2 for now, and then just a little bit of detuning. Let's go down. Okay, so that's sort of getting us to the basic sort of sound. We're going to just take the cut off down a little bit there, and we kind of want it to sort of glide a little bit between the notes. So we will go into the polyphony, and we're going to turn it onto mono, and then portamento we're going to go around about sort of 10. Okay, so we've got that kind of bass sound, and let's just put it into the correct scale, just so I've got minor. Oop. That's C minor. There's A. Woo. There we go. So yeah, A, where's B? Okay, so they're the notes. So we've got the basic kind of sound for that. And kind of all the magic sort of happens with the LFO, which is modulating the cutoff frequency. So it's kind of going... Let's go on that one. That kind of thing, which is really bad. Let's do it there. Where's my notes? A, E, right. Doing that kind of thing anyway. So what we're going to do is going to patch LFO1 into the cutoff frequency. So we're going to press Shift and select the frequency, and then to patch it in, we're just going to press on LFO1. Now I kind of found with a bit of playing about of this, the kind of the level of the LFO on there works best around about 29. Okay, so now we've got the wobble going automatically, which is cool. Let me just check LFO1. We want to have it on the sine wave, just so we've got it kind of smoothly going up and down. Sync is going to be off because we're going to do it, because ideally we want like a dotted, and I don't think you can't do a dotted sync on here, so we're going to turn that off, and we're just going to do it with like the LFO frequency. That kind of thing, and that's kind of roughly it, really. And I kind of go between, I think around about 28, 29 for the setting of the LFO to give the, and then it kind of, does that kind of thing. So what I will do is show you how I kind of did the next thing, which was really to just sort of put the notes in, and it's a 4-bar loop, and then I just kind of recorded automation in then on the LFO to make it do its wobble. It kind of starts on the and of beat 1. So there's your first thing there. I've got to remember how to put the notes in now. So bear with me. I was going to program the notes in, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, so what I'll do is, rather than actually just programming out that one, I've gone back into my other set. I've got rid of a load of this stuff, not my other set, my other version of the track. So this is how the bass line kind of works. Let me just play the bass on its own. So yeah, like I say, it's a 4-bar loop. It kind of starts on the and of beat 1, so it's like 1 and 2 and so on. So I'll just quickly recap all my levels for this one. So oscillator 1 is on full, oscillator 2 is on 27, and that's pitched down an octave just to give it a little bit more kind of a sub bass. The LFO is on, oops, oh, actually on 15 on the LFO there, on the depth, so okay, that was a bit, I think I said a bit higher than that on the other one. I think I said about 29 randomly, so yes, no, don't do it at that, do it at 15. Then if you watch through the automation, you'll see hopefully the LFO changing there. So it's kind of going between sort of 28 for the most of it, and then up to 31. So what I'll do is I'll delete that automation in a second, and I'll I'll re-record it in and just show you how how I recorded in the automation. And that's kind of like the basics of the song. If we just look at the settings, so volume's up on full, so there's no resonance. The cutoff, you can see I'm just kind of just a little bit over half. I think I've just got a tiny bit of reverb, and I also, to give it a little bit more beef, I got the saturation on 2 and decimation on 2 as well, just to kind of nasty it up a little bit more. And they are the basic settings. So what we'll do is we'll go through that automation, just show you that, because that's kind of where the magic happens with the sound, and then that will be it. Okay, so to delete any automation, all you're going to do is select, let's just go back there, select the parameter that we've got automation on, which is that. Hold down shift while that's selected, and press the select knob here, and you'll say it says delete. If I play it now, you'll see that number won't change. Okay, so it's the same all the way through. So as I said before, we want it on around about 28 to start off with. And then this is just a bit of trial and error, obviously, just with getting it right. So it's that kind of thing. All right, so all you got to do is just press record. Stop that, and then we should have it recorded in. Okay, so that's not far off. It might take a few goes just to get it spot on. I did try doing it on a note per note basis, but it jumped a little bit, because you can obviously step sequence your automation as well, but it was a little bit smoother, I found, just kind of recording the automation like that. Then I just kind of I played around a little bit of the drum pads in, sorry, the drum track in, and then we've got the weird elephant noise in there. So okay, so yeah, hopefully that tells you how to sound a little bit like Moderat using that bass. It's one of those bass lines I'd kind of always really loved and not really thought about how it was made, and it's just the magic of the automated LFO, and that's it. So it's quite a simple sound, really, at the end of the day. And this is, I find, is a good way just to A, get to know your equipment, and also B, learn a little bit more about synthesis. If you hear a sound, think, yeah, okay, I want to try and recreate that, and listen to it and try and recreate it. Great way of getting a bit of your synthesis techniques going. So hopefully that was of interest to you. I might do another video on how I did the whole track. I'll see if anybody's interested in how I put together the whole version of that. I'll do a sort of a walkthrough thing on that. And usual things, if you've got any questions, comments, suggestions for future videos, then of course stick those in the comments box below. Click on the bell thing, then you'll get notifications when I upload new stuff. Check my music out, Spotify, Apple Music, all the usual places. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, and thanks for watching.